Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss chemical reactions and equations chapter. So among this chapter, why this chapter is so important means in every day, in our day-to-day life, we come across so many chemical reactions. When you go into your home, kitchen, there your mother is cooking something. Do you know that is also one form of chemical reaction? Because of some ignorance, some of the gates which you see outside, they got rusted. That is also chemical reaction. And we take food every day for energy. So what is happening inside of our stomach? That is also chemical reaction. So burning, some fire is occurring because of some wood or some paper or some combustible substance are firing. That is also chemical reaction. Every day around us, every chemical reaction occurs. So if we learn about the chemical reaction in proper manner, then we can predict some of the changes which may happen. How? Suppose when we take the food, so what food we are taking and what type of chemical reactions occurs in our stomach and what output it comes in higher classes, when you learn, you will understand it better. So it is very important chapter for us. So now we are going to discuss three topics in this chapter. First topic is about chemical reaction, chemical equation, balanced chemical equation. And second, types of chemical changes. And third, rancidity and corrosion. Three topics. First, in this topic, I am going to discuss about chemical reaction, equation and balancing the chemical equations. Now, let us see the chemical reactions, chemical equations, balancing chemical equations. So, everything is interrelated. Suppose I have taken one simple example. In Diwali times, you would have burned the magnesium ribbon. It gives the dazzling light. You felt very happy. That's magnesium ribbon, means mostly tied with the paper, and it gives, we get like a thread. But in lab we will have the magnesium strips. Okay, hold it very carefully and burn it. But before burning, we need to do one thing. We need to rub the ribbon with the sandpaper. Why? Because magnesium ribbon easily reacts with oxygen which is present in the atmosphere and forms a magnesium oxide layer. This oxide layer won't allow that magnesium to burn. So we have to rub so that that layer will be removed. And you burn it. That magnesium strip will give the white powder at the bottom. That is magnesium oxide. This is one simple example of chemical reaction. Now, you can see some other examples also. Now take dilute HCl in a conical flask and drop some zinc granules. You will find that some gas is released. So during chemical reactions, what happens? Color is changing. State is also changing. Gas is evolving. Some new compound is formed. So this is what happened in the chemical. Something completely different compound with different properties. That is the main difference between the physical change and chemical change. In physical change, there is no change in chemical formula, nothing. It converts solid to liquid, liquid to gas, or else the dimensions or shape will be changed. But the chemical formula will remain same only. Physically, it is changing, either by state or shape. But chemically, you will observe that it is forming a completely new property. One example, hydrogen gas, if you take. Hydrogen is easily combustible. It fights. Oxygen is supporter of combustion. But a compound which is formed with hydrogen and oxygen, which is water, neither combustible nor supporter of combustion. Hydrogen and oxygen, when they combine, it formed a new compound, water, H2O, which has the completely different properties of of pair, it means the hydrogen and oxygen. So this is what chemical change. A completely new compound will be formed. A completely new properties it will have than the reactants. This descriptive, suppose what I have done, what I have explained now, magnesium oxide, how it formed when magnesium ribbon is burnt and it is reacted with oxygen and forms the magnesium oxide. Completely descriptive way of explanation. But chemical reaction in shorter form, if we explain, then it would be so easy to understand. First, word form. It's rather simple. The word form. So how do I write? Magnesium plus oxygen gives rise to magnesium oxide. So here I keeps the arrow in the middle. And left hand side of the arrow are the reactants which are participating in the chemical reaction. And the right hand side is the product. So reactants are, if two or more reactants are there, they will be added with the plus sign. If two or more products are there, they will be added with the plus sign. But still, it's more difficult form to write in sentence form and word equation also. If we write the symbolic notation, then equation, chemical reaction, we can study in an easy manner. The symbolic representation of a chemical reaction is called chemical equation. The symbolic representation of chemical reaction is called chemical equation. Okay, Nana? So now, how do you write that symbolic notation? How do we have to write the chemical formulas? It is very important for us. We should by heart the symbols and we should know how to write the chemical formulas. So hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, we have learned the elements, but along with them we have to write the symbol. And while writing the symbol, you should be careful. If you are writing the calcium, calcium symbol is Ca. It is containing of two letters. First letter should be the capital one and second letter should be the small letter. And no cursive, you have to write separately, calcium. Zinc, when you write, zinc symbol is Zn. First, how do you write Z? And next, how do you write Sn, Zn. And while writing the chemical formulas, the crisscross method and their respective valencies, we need to know. If we know the respective valencies, most of the chemical formulas you can write very easily. Further, suppose copper, sulfate. Copper valency is also 2, sulfate valency also 2. When both the valencies are equal, then you have to write side by side, CuSO4. But if you want to write sodium sulfate, sodium valency is 1, sulfate valency is 2. So now crisscross method, this 2 will go to the sodium and this 1 will come to the sulfate. That's why the formula will become Na2SO4. Dear students, we have to remember the formulas and we should know how to write the chemical formulas. If you don't know how to write, please pause the video here itself, learn how to write the chemical formulas. And so many examples or so many chemicals given in the textbook. And just please look at the chemical formulas and learn it how they have written and by heart. Otherwise, we cannot go to the next step, which is called balanced chemical reactions, equations. Do you remember the law of conservation of mass? Yes. Total mass before the chemical reaction will be equal to total mass after the chemical reaction. So what are the chemicals are participating in this chemical reaction? So when they combine, nothing will happen. No new mass will be formed and something changes are occurring inside only. And products will be formed. That mass of the products will not become more. How much mass you have given, that much of mass product only you will get. Yes, the law of conservation of mass says something that how many atoms are participating in the chemical reaction, that many atoms only will be there in the products. The total number of atoms in the reactants is equals to total number of the atoms of the products. So this is the reason the chemical reaction is to be balanced. According to the law of conservation of mass, the total mass of the reactants is equals to the total number of mass of the products. It means the number of atoms which are participated in the chemical reactions, the same number of atoms will get at the end as the products. So chemical reactions to be balanced. Now look at equation, one simple equation. I'm going to say, write the equation and all of you. Zn plus H2SO4 gives rise to ZnSO4 plus H2. Once again I am repeating, Zn plus H2SO4 gives rise to ZnSO4 plus H2. Now identify step by step. In reactant side and product side, how many atoms are there of each element. So you please make a data now. Please write element at the first, number of atoms in the reactant sides, number of atoms at the product side. Please form the table. Okay, Nana? First I am writing the zinc. How many atoms are present in the reactant side? 1. Product side? 1. Next, hydrogen. How many atoms are there in the reactant side? 2. Product side? 2. Sulfur. How many atoms of sulfur are there in reactant side? 1. Here in product side? 1. Last, how many atoms of oxygen present in the reactant side? 4. Here also 4. Now see that reactants, number of atoms and number of atoms of products are both the same. This equation is called balanced equation, balanced chemical equation. But if equation is not balanced, then what we have to do? So some steps we need to follow to balance the chemical reaction. So first you write the skeletal equation. What the description is given in the question. Based on the description, you write the skeletal equation and write the along with the formulas and everything. Now first step is keep the boxes for the formulas. Why I am saying like that is, if you draw the boxes, you will not be tempted to change anything which is present in the box. Why? Because while balancing, we should not change anything which is present in the box. We have to put numbers outside of the box, means quotients. Only quotients only we have to change. Okay, that's what we need to put the boxes. Now second, as we have done for the zinc and sulfuric acid, write the number of elements, name of the elements, number of atoms in the reactant side, number of atoms in the product side. Now check whether it is balanced or not. As we have chosen the unbalanced chemical equation, now you wanted to balance. Which compound you will choose? Look at all the compounds on reactant side and product side. Okay, reactant side and product side. Now see which compound has more number of atoms. You select that. In that compound, which compound has more number of atoms? That element you start to balance it. Suppose I have taken some calcium carbonate, CaCO3. In this, calcium is having 1 atom, carbon is having 1 atom, oxygen is 3. So when I have chosen the calcium carbonate compound to balance, in that which element I have to choose? Oxygen. So I am taking oxygen to balance. Okay, Nana? Now you see this side, LHS side, RHS sides are there. How many atoms are there? Just put the necessary quotient and balance it. So like that you go trial and error method, hit and trial method. Complete the remaining all of the elements. And see that at the end, the number should be the smallest whole numbers. Fractions are not allowed. Fractions are not allowed to keep as a quotient. We have to put smallest whole numbers as the quotients. To make equation more meaningful, so we have to put some symbols as states. For solid you put S, for liquid you put L, for gas you put G, for aqueous solution means if that substance is present in water you put AQ. If it is precipitate means which is settling down, downward arrow. If it is a gas you have to put upward arrow. If you keep such symbols, our chemical equation will be more balanced. Okay, Nana? This is the topic. Now, we are going to discuss in-text questions first. Now let me see what are the in-text questions are there in this particular topic. So in-text question, please look at the textbook and take out your textbook and see the in-text question. Why should a magnesium ribbon be cleaned before burning the air? Before burning in air. Already we have discussed, but once again, why should we rub the magnesium ribbon? We know that magnesium reacts with oxygen and forms a magnesium oxide layer that when it is present in the atmosphere, this oxide layer will prevent the burning. So if we rub with the sandpaper, then magnesium available means it can come in contact with the air properly, so it can burn easily. Now look at the next question. Write the balanced equation for the following chemical reaction. Hydrogen plus chlorine gives rise to hydrogen chloride. So hydrogen H2 chlorine plus Cl2 gives rise to hydrogen chloride formula HCl. But here two hydrogens and two chlorines are there. But on the right hand side you can see one hydrogen and one chlorine are there. If you put 2 in front of HCl, now you can check both sides 2 hydrogens are there, both sides 2 chlorines are there. Now our equation is balanced. Okay, Nana? Now let us try the second question. Barium chloride plus aluminum sulfate gives rise to barium sulfate and aluminum chloride. Now what is the formula of barium chloride? BaCl2. Aluminum sulfate Al2SO4 all thrice. So it will be exchanged and we will get barium sulfate and aluminum chloride. Then what is the, we write in the word equation. Now we are, after that we wrote in the Skelton equation. What is the Skelton equation? What we wrote? BaCl2 plus Al2SO4 all thrice gives rise to BaSO4 plus AlCl3. Now follow the steps that we have discussed before. So identify which atoms has more number of, which compound has more number of atoms. It's clearly showing that aluminum sulfate Al2SO4 all thrice. Among that, which one is having the more number of atoms? Oxygen, 12 atoms are there. So choose oxygen to balance. Here LHS side you can see that 12 oxygen atoms are there. Now if you see RHS side, BaSO4, O4 is there, means that oxygen consists of 4. Now you put quotient 3 in front of barium. 3 into 4, 12. Now you can see oxygen is balanced. Now I'm going to choose sulfur. Sulfur also balanced. Next aluminium I'm taking. Here aluminium 2 are there. There that side AlCl3. So I kept 2 as a quotient in front of it. So that formula will become 2AlCl3. Now I'm going to check here right hand side 3 bariums and 6 chlorines are there, but left hand side I'm having BaCl2. If I put 3 in front as a quotient for BaCl2, now you can check that equation is balanced. Now what is the balanced chemical equation? 3 BaCl2 plus Al2SO4 all thrice gives rise to 3 BaSO4 plus 2 AlCl3. Now we have to put proper symbols, means states. We should mention the states such that this particular equation will become more meaningful. So what are the states for BaCl2? Put AQ as it is aqueous solution. What do you have to put Al2SO4 all thrice? AQ. Why? Because it is also aqueous solution. And BaSO4 is the solid. And last AlCl3 is the AQ. And we are going to see one more equation. Sodium plus water gives rise to sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen. Sodium formula is what? Na. Water formula is what? H2O. Sodium hydroxide NaOH. Hydrogen H2. So this equation will become what? Na plus H2O gives rise to NaOH plus H2. Is it balanced? It is clearly imbalanced chemical reaction. So what we need to do? We need to balance the chemical reaction. So Nana, check which one is having the highest number of atoms. Follow the same. Otherwise, directly you can heat and trial method. No, if you put 2, as 2 hydrogens are there, here 2 hydrogens are there, it's okay. But we are having 1 oxygen, there also 1 oxygen. Yes, you can see that hydrogens 3 are there. So now what is the best method? I am keeping 2 in front of water. Then totally 4 hydrogens will be there on LHS side. But this side only 3. So if I put 2 in front of NaOH, the hydrogens are balanced, oxygen balanced, sodium, 2 sodium atoms are there on RHS side. Now keep 2 in front of sodium, then total number of atoms on either sides will be balanced. So like this, all the students, please try the balanced chemical equations. Write whatever the chemical reaction is given. Please write in formula, proper formula. Proper formula is very important. And do in hit and trial method the balance in the chemical equations. You will see the same even in exercise question also. So there they have asked us to write the balancing equations, and they have given the equation in word equation. They asked us to write the equation and balance it. So all are like that only. Even in board examination also, most of the equations have come like this. So one of the question in board examination got like that. Zinc reacts with silver nitrate to produce zinc nitrate and silver. So what is the symbol of zinc? Zn. And it is a solid clearly. Yes. Silver nitrate AgNO3. It's an aqueous solution. And zinc nitrate formula ZnNO3 whole twice. It is also aqueous solution, and we get silver as a compound. But when you see, you can see that the equation is not balanced. You have to balance the equation. So what I have to do? NO3 whole twice is there, no? Means 2 nitrates are there, but this side NO3 is there. So I keep 2 in front of AgNO3. So then nitrates are balanced. And but here Zn also balanced. Silver is 2 LHS side. That side you have to put 2 in front of silver. Then what will be the balanced chemical equation? Zn within brackets S, why? Because it is solid, plus 2 AgNO3 AQ gives rise to ZnNO3 whole twice within brackets AQ because it is aqueous solution, and 2 Ag silver within brackets S. So some question bank questions, means I have framed some questions. So these questions you please answer in your notebook. Nana, only one topic we have learned. I hope so that what we have discussed you understood. What we have discussed about physical change, chemical change. So in physical change, only the shape or state is changing, but chemical formula will remain same. But in chemical change, what did we see? In chemical change, compound is formed which is having the completely different properties of the reactants. Color changing, state changing, gases forming, precipitates are forming. So this is what changes we observed in the chemical change. Some completely new compound is formed, with the new properties. It's a permanent change. And also we have seen the importance of the chemical equation. To understand the chemical reactions in a better manner, it is better to write the chemical equation. The symbolic representation of a chemical reaction is called chemical equation. Okay. Next, what did we learn? Balance in the chemical equation. Why? According to the law of conservation of mass, total number of atoms on LHS side, means reactant side, should be equals to total number of atoms on the RHS side. And we also have learned how to balance the chemical reactions. And we checked some questions also. Now, this question bank, means some questions I am giving. Please write the answers in your homework notebook. First question, state one basic difference between a physical change and chemical change. Second, what is meant by a chemical reaction? Third, please note down very clearly, I am giving the chemical equation. AgNO3 within brackets AQ plus NaCl within brackets AQ gives rise to AgCl within brackets S with a downward arrow plus NaNO3 AQ. And second equation is also given like that. FeS plus H2SO4 gives rise to FeSO4 plus H2S upward arrow. Consider these equations with two different types of arrows, upward arrow and downward arrow, along with the products. What do these two different arrows indicate? What do these two different upward arrow and downward arrow in chemical equations, what do these arrows indicate? Okay. Now, fourth question. Hydrogen being a highly inflammable gas and oxygen being a supporter of combustion, at water, which is a compound made up of hydrogen and oxygen, is used to extinguish fire. Why? Nice question, no? We discussed before. I'm repeating the question again. Hydrogen being a highly inflammable gas and oxygen being a supporter of combustion, at water, which is a compound made up of oxygen and hydrogen, is used to extinguish the fire, stops the fire. And fifth question, on what basis a chemical equation is balanced? And last question, balance the chemical equation. Please note on the equations. BaCl2 plus H2SO4 gives rise to BaSO4 plus HCl. CaOH whole twice plus HNO3 gives rise to CaNO3 whole twice plus H2O. PbNO3 whole twice gives rise to PbO plus NO2 plus O2. And last question, MnO2 plus HCl gives rise to MnCl2 plus H2O plus Cl2. Now, please write these answers and try. Now, what we have discussed only one topic, and we have seen what type of questions will be asked. By the end of this topic, please work something and try to answer the question bank questions. If you are confident, then let whatever maybe the question comes in this topic, you can answer. So for that reason, what I am doing is, I have taken what I have explained, that all questions I have taken in PDF format. That link is there in this YouTube. Please open it and go through it and follow this video fully and try to understand the content, and at last you try to answer the question bank questions. Dear students, please, almost everyone is worrying about why, because we are not able to see you face to face, and we are not able to correct by coming near to you, and we are not able to see your faces properly in online classes also, so that we could not guess that what my student is facing the problem. So now completely communication link became big. Even though we are teaching in online, some gap is there. That gap cannot be filled by any means. The compassionating teaching and students asking doubts to the teacher and explanation, upgrading yourself with a bond with the teacher, and that all we have missed. Now students, you have to be more responsible now, and we teachers also, but please work with me. Do all the questions, go through it like this, topic by topic. I'm going to prepare all the topics. You have to watch, learn, and whatever the works I have assigned in that, please do it. You will be best in your board examination. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you, students, and continue to do your work.